You need, feel the vibe of this reggae. You my love, my life. This intense beat, the soul takes you.
So, what are some roadblocks that comedians face nowadays?
A lot of things. It's that's a very broad question. It's hard to say. Like, I guess personal. The biggest roadblock is yourself. Like, there's so many people that are very funny and have the skills to do comedy, but the lifestyle can suck because most people have to grind it out. So it's like, do you want to live a lifestyle where you're like getting up on stage like 5 to 7 days a week, staying out late all those times, just doing open mics for no money? Maybe you'll get some shows where you're paid on the weekends. Like, do you want to do that for 10 plus years? Because even doing that for a 10-year comedian is like not considered super experienced. Like, is that the kind of lifestyle you want to live? It's a very rough lifestyle that isn't always, it takes a very specific thing, and it weeds a lot of people out, and it's a different thing. It's a different thing, yeah.
Wow.
So, have you ever thought about just giving up comedy completely?
Many times. I'm actually taking a break from comedy right now. So I'm in the process of, like, I think 2 months of not having performed comedy. So it did get pretty crazy there. So I've just been focusing on, like, the production side of things. So I'm the closest to quitting comedy I've ever been. So I don't know. Maybe not,
Okay.
I mean, you're hilarious. I would hate to see you quit, but I understand the lifestyle is really difficult too. So
thank you. Yeah, no, I don't think I could ever quit comedy. I enjoy comedy so much. But where I did get myself into a position where I was producing shows, that were very successful and that I was profitable and I was making money from, but I didn't like the type of shows they were. I didn't like the audiences they were. I didn't want to do. It was very like the type of shows that do well in the suburbs here are very like broad, general shows that I did not like. So I kind of, I had to do a type of comedy to succeed on those shows that I didn't specifically like. So that's why, or I do this stuff I did like, and the audience wouldn't enjoy it that much. So that's why I just had to retool and stuff like that. I kind of burnt myself out doing a type of comedy I didn't like in exchange for money.
Yeah, so like
I get that.
He was forced to do mainstream comedy.
Right.
So,
yeah. No, I understand that. So when you are performing, how do you deal with hecklers?
It's not a huge problem. I haven't noticed it that much. So if you have a good producer, which was usually me, where if someone's like shouting out, usually most people aren't trying to like ruin a show or be an asshole. They just are excited and want to get involved. So the best way is to just like be like, oh, thank you for that. Respond to it in the moment, address it and be like, oh, thank you for that. And like politely, calmly let them know, okay, I'm going to move on. We're going to do something calm. That's probably the main one. The other one is to just ignore them. And if you're able to ignore them, ignoring them a couple times will like give them the message like, we don't want to hear from you right now. Or you address it, have fun, and then move on. If they keep doing it, like a good comedian will be able to play with them, but that fundamentally changes the show and it's not good. And some people can like turn that into a very funny thing and then move on. That's the hardest part. Like people can turn a heckling moment into a very funny thing, but then it's very hard to move on because, that fundamentally changes the way it's very hard to follow something like that. Because it's combative and people love that, but then you want to tell like your jokes you're prepared, it's maybe not as exciting for people, so it makes it hard to move on. But if it gets real bad, the producer, which is usually me, will go up to them and be like, shh, shh, like, be quiet, we can't have this, and if it gets really bad, you have to like throw them out. I've never gotten to that point. The worst is I've just went up to someone and said, like, shh, like, just don't interrupt the comedian, that kind of stuff. And generally it's good. I haven't had too many nightmare experiences. People are generally good people, and I think most of the shows I go to, people aren't getting super drunk.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think people do that as much as they did like
The 90s?
30 years ago. I think people are more in control of their life, and also, they want to have a good time. They paid money. Like, it'd be weird to go out and ruin a show. So generally, just very measured, reasoned approach, and people are usually pretty good with it.
Okay. Earlier, you say you were involved in shows that wasn't successful. As a comic, how do you deal with that?
You just grin and bear it. You just smile and there's very different types of like success and whatnot. Like a show that, you mean like a show that like lost money, or a show where like it was horrible, no one showed up, or it was just like not an entertaining experience? Like, what do you mean?
Yeah, I think more like that. Like, like nobody's laughing in the audience. They're
Or
just
nobody
like
showed
straight
up.
face.
Or nobody
showed up. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I've done that a lot. It's very, like, as a producer, it's very stressful. That was the hardest thing for me to deal with, because I as a producer, I was very like control freaky, and like the biggest thing is just learn. Like, I would hire like other headliners, and just trust that they could do a good job. Like, needed to make sure I did all the preparation to put people in a position to succeed, and if it doesn't go well, you just do the best job you can. And oftentimes, you're much more in tune with how well the show is going. There's people who go to shows who don't even understand, like, people are supposed to be laughing at every joke. They're just like, they're not laughing at every joke, but afterwards they're like, I enjoyed myself. And I'm like, well, you didn't laugh. Like, what do you mean? But that's just how it goes. So you never want to, I think that is the key to like a seasoned comedian, is to just keep going, keep doing their best, even if he's getting no response, even if it's not going, doing their best, live the best show they can. And afterwards get off, shake everyone's hand, smile, say thank you for coming. And you might feel horrible inside that you're not getting any reactions. You might think it wasn't a good show, but you did your best you could, and people probably enjoyed it more than you think, even if they didn't laugh. So, that was the hardest thing for me, really, in producing shows, is just to learn to deal with shows that weren't going the way you wanted them to go, and you go home, you take a shower, you forget about it, and you do the next show. So
that's a great way to deal with it.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
So, as a producer, like, you talked about, you more recently were doing shows that you didn't particularly like. So, like, what type of comedian would you prefer to book?
I was booking comedians for the most part that I enjoyed. There was a few comedians that I booked for business reasons, but I was actually pretty good with booking like nice comedians who I enjoyed and I found funny, who did a type of comedy that I was not good at doing. I enjoy all types of comedians. I just was not good at doing comedy for people older than me, people in the suburbs who were like probably 20 years older than me. Like, it was just hard for me to relate to those people. So that's why I didn't enjoy them as much. I mean, I figured out how to do and stuff like that, but it was just in the suburbs. It was like older crowds who, they wanted a very specific type of humor. They wanted, relationship humor. What's the other? Mostly like relationship stuff, family stuff, and then a little bit of like sex stuff as well. That kind of stuff. That's what they wanted. Which people do that type of comedy great, you know, and I enjoy that, but I'm not good at that. Like, I tell very like in-depth stories, and it's just a different context than what they wanted. So it's you know, that was just what made it difficult for me.
Okay.
Okay, cool.